Hey everybody, welcome to episode 125 of the Bonehead Podcast, where we talk all things Blood Bowl. And jingle. Welcome back. I'm Ben, and I got the intro right, and Bloodtithe Ben is back. BT, how you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
He's alive. He's returned.
Yeah.
We lent him to Europe, and Europe sent him back.
With the Spanish flu.
With the Spanish flu, exactly. And as ever, we're joined by 3D printing correspondent Ian Triplo. How you doing, Trips?
All good, thank you.
Here we've got some dice shenanigans to talk about with you in a bit, Trips.
Oh, absolutely.
Although those people who did jump in and watch Ben's hobby stream this week will have got the play-by-play because you were using Torplay. I was sharing the highlights with Ben as he was painting.
That was so fun. I love that. Do that again next time.
It was pretty cool. That was pretty good fun. It was pretty good fun. But episode 125, we are on the eve of the Vampire pre-order. We still have very, very little information. It honestly reminds me of being at work when someone goes, "What will this look like?" And you say, "I don't know. What is it going to be?" And they say to you, "Different." And then you say, "Well, then I think it's going to be different." And that's basically where we are with vampires at the moment. But we're still going to have a look at the pre-order and the news bits. Other than that, BT, what's 125 about?
It's just going to be talking about the World Cup. I'll be rambling a lot about how it went, sort of how it was structured, how it ran, how my own personal experience of it was. Because spoilers, it was really good. I had a blast. So.
Oh man,
about that.
Yeah, we've got lots of questions, and we're hoping to live vicariously through you. But first of all, let's check in on Blood Bowl news. Okay, so the news we've all been waiting for. Trips, I can't remember how many weeks you said this was since the last Blood Bowl team release.
51 weeks.
Cutting it so fine. That's the kind of delivery I have on like work deadlines.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah, what's the SLA
you got a
on
year
this?
to do this. 51 weeks later, bam.
Yeah.
Well, that's what deadlines are for, I guess. But it is coming. So on Sunday, the article dropped. Sunday preview, Knights, Vampires, and Classic Warhammer 40,000 terrain. Spoiler alert, the Knights are amazing. The terrain is trash. And the only thing we care about is vampires anyway. Here we go, Blood Bowl. So we are getting the team. We've seen the team. We've talked about the team. The team has been rumoured for at least 51 weeks. And it is the full whack, right? You get what looks to be 14 players for the vampire team with the tokens and everything. And they did a little article on the web on the Warhammer community, didn't they? Because we thought it was the Bloodlust one.
We got all excited that it might have a rule in it.
And it was, I'm going to say, just about designing the models, but actually I don't think we've seen that before. We're seeing a lot of these kind of like Games Workshop not hobby, but design studio articles at the moment. I'm enjoying them. I am suspicious of them.
They're nice as well as, but as an instead of, they're not very nice.
Yeah.
That is fair. I follow a lot of other companies like Privateer Press and Mantic. Mantic particularly just doing a wonderful job at the moment. Although the price of the Worms game was very sad. The Worms board game, I was well excited for it. They did launch the Kickstarter and it was £80 and you have to wait one Bloodtithe SLA for it to arrive.
Yeah.
Wow.
A year is a long time. I'm not really for Kickstarters, but £80 and a year is too much. £40 in a year, fine. £80 in a year, I just 3D print them.
True.
And play Kill Team with them. But yeah, no, the design article, like you say, Ben, instead of was interesting. I think they did 3 articles for like the Age of Sigmar new orcs as well. And do you think that's all related to like the proposed delays?
Probably. Yeah, I can only imagine that's why this team's come out so late, or not late, but long. I'm just assuming like the whole production issues have just given them such a backlog, and probably a symptom of that. is all these articles that they've got in the bank.
Although I do like it, and I got to give props to the Blood Bowl team, especially for like the Steve Cross article and stuff like that.
I love that actually.
Yeah. Like that's absolutely wicked. Okay, so along with the Vampire team, which will be available from your friendly local game store, in theory, you will also be able to pre-order the Forge World pieces. So you've got the big guy, you've got the Vargeist. Now, Trips, this will be Forge World. So will this go up on the Friday before, or will that go up on the Saturday as well?
I would imagine it will go up on the Friday. They usually do for Forge World. But it feels like it'd be slightly out of order, so I wouldn't be surprised if they just announce it all on Saturday and go, it's all out there, spend all your Blood Bowl money with us.
Yeah, it's just going to be a bit jarring to have to make two different orders, but that's hey, it's hardly the worst thing in the world. And Count Luther, who will be going straight in my basket because it's a very cool model. Salt Bay on the Blood Bowl pitch, very, very, very. I really like that. Yes, Captain Carla von Fang with the photoshopped on hat.
Terrible. Sorry, I think Luther is so good. Okay, I'm being a bit harsh with terrible, but it's just I don't like this model.
It's just it's just fine. We don't know our stats yet. This is the difficulty. Is that that they've gone up for pre-order and it's hard. I think Trips, you kind of sort of said this. It's hard to be excited about something when you don't know what you're buying.
Yeah, right.
You're buying hopes, wishes, and dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a Magic the Gathering pack. And Ivan, who we've seen before. I think we've seen a bit more of Ivan's stats, but we got the Spike coming out, which is 16. So the Spike and the team, friendly local gaming shops or Games Workshop Direct, and then everything else will be Forge World. And there is also the pitch. I love the pitch. I love the look of the pitch. I was going to 3D print one for our live stream next week, but I'm not going to have time. Which is very sad. So we'll just have to hopefully get hold of and use the vampire pitch for the stream. But I like this pitch. What do you think?
Regarding the pitch, I mean, weren't we brewing up ideas?
I have got the STLs prepped for print. I can print them in a night because we've got 3 Saturn 2s now. But building it and painting it, I think, would take a little bit longer than the time we've got left to do, which is a shame.
But I was just saying, like, that's like the ideas. We were just like, okay, what would a vampire pitch look like? And we're thinking, well, probably like a castle with tiles and then like a rug that goes across the whole thing. We're like, oh, look.
Exactly. I've printed like 3 foot of castle wall to be the background for it because you're right, because we got it exactly right. Now Milton isn't here because well, if you've seen the episode of Friends where Phoebe's alarm goes off and then she destroys it and it continues going off, basically Milton had that experience last night. So he's like, no. The dice, vampire dice, black and red pearl with yellow yellow symbols. Yeah. I like them.
I don't think they're the hardest to read at all. Yeah, I think these are good.
I like them.
They look like they've been designed to be used as opposed to just put in a box on Milton's shelf.
Yeah, true.
I mean, that's where they're going to end up anyway. I don't think they're perfect for streams, but I think they are a good set. They feel a bit old school. Like they feel like some of the first ones we saw that were just like, I don't know, they just feel right, which is really cool to see. So that will all be dropping on Saturday, along with some other stuff that you may be excited about if you like other games, which is fine. So vampires are finally here. News-wise, I think we're still waiting to find out kind of everything about her, essentially. A lot about him. And everything about the rest of the team, which means it's Wednesday today. Trips did sort of say the article will drop tomorrow because we're recording the podcast tonight.
Yeah.
I think you are probably right, Trips, which means this will be going out in the feed potentially after we found out what Bloodlust does.
Yeah. And if we look back to the last time we had a team teased, all 51 weeks back, the Amazon article didn't give us all the stats and the detail. So even then, it was wait till someone had the spike in hand.
Oh, you are correct. You are correct. However, they did preview Hit and Run, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah, they did.
And I feel like
They must tell us Bloodlust. They must.
They've got to drop us Bloodlust tomorrow. Like it has to be the case, because I know we've even had comments on some of our videos. Like, I want to be excited about the team, but until I find out what Bloodlust does, I don't think I can be.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's what everyone at the World Cup was saying. It would just be like, we don't know what it is. Like, it could be completely crippling. And yeah.
So that does mean that this is like our last chance to have a bit of a prediction. So let's do a couple of predictions here and try and like figure out. So Bloodlust, what do we think it's going to do specifically in the way of turnovers or leaving the pitch or no tackle zones or whatever than that? How volatile do we think it's going to be?
I can't imagine it will be a turnover unless you have the ball. Or like for some reason, like assuming it's going to be like old school Bloodlust, where like lay it off the pitch. Was that a turnover if they didn't have the ball?
I think it was if they had the ball. It was only if they had the ball.
I think it'll be if they have the ball. If you look at all the other big guy nega trait type things, they kill the use of the big guy for the turn. They don't kill the turn.
Yeah.
So power wise, if it's really difficult to kind of guesstimate this, but if Bloodlust gets the vampire to yeet oneself into the crowd off the pitch, they're going to end up low tier 2, right? Your best players on a roll of a 1. If you don't have a reroll, they just fly off for the drive. Now, I was a bit low on Carla von Fangs because her special power says that actually once per game she can eat somebody else instead of a thrall. I was like, well, that just means you get one chance, then she's out for the game. Of course, it's not. The old rules were you go into reserves and you come back on again. So I was a little bit harsh on it. I mean, it's still not great. But so vampires, if they wander off into the crowd, that's got to be low tier 2, right? That's kind of combo.
Where they were, right?
Yeah, they were. They were kind of bottom of tier 2. If they just lose their tackle zones, is that not a massive boost? Because then essentially, you've got animal savage. No, well, I guess at that point it kind of becomes animal savagery.
Well, what I was going to say was one of my first thoughts of it was it could just be like animal savagery, because that kind of works like Bloodlust. I mean, that's what they had, right?
But it just keys off thralls.
Yeah, but making a whole new rule for something that's essentially the same isn't really like the MO, right? So
no, it's not the MO, but it might be thematic enough that's. Do you know what? That would be a wonderful middle ground, actually, Ben.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. And with that specification, just for thralls. Yeah. They can hit a nearby thrall and do it as regardless. And if that is the case, my word, tier 1. Like, because animal savagery is really not that much of a problem.
I love animal savagery.
Yeah, it's so good. So, yeah, I think that would be quite significant. Because, then you just play the game like normal and you just have a surplus of thralls just in case you roll those ones. So,
I do like that. Yeah. I do like that. That would be really cool. Okay, that's cool. Prediction wise, cost for the Vargeist in gold pieces, not Forge World. We don't talk about Forge World prices. Yeah. Not in the cost of living crisis, because you've got a choice: rent or resin.
200. Oh, really? Well, they confirmed he's a big guy, right?
Yeah. Well,
so it says vampire teams get a brute, arguably one of the most bloodthirsty in the whole game. And I don't think 200. I think that's too much for a rostered player. Actually, Death Roller says high, right?
But Death Roller's a funny one. Trips, how much is the Bloodspawn?
160, isn't it?
Okay, 160. He's got Frenzy, Mighty Blow, and Claws.
Yeah, 160, yeah.
If this guy's got Claws, we know that, I think. No, Frenzy? Yeah. We know he's got Frenzy?
I revised my 200 down to 160 because I think it'll be very similar to the Bloodspawn.
I'm imagining just a Bloodspawn, but with the new Animal Savagery.
But with Bloodlust 3+ instead.
Which does make him better. So
it depends.
Animal Savage is better than Unchanneled Fury all day, every day.
Well, yeah, but if animal savagery triggers on a 2+ if you're punching stuff. If this is 3+ all of the time, then it's kind of worse.
I don't know. I still think that's better because you can just hit stuff and then carry on, right? If it's like animal savagery, so it doesn't really matter if you fail.
Oh, that's true. That might be another difference. 160 Bloodspawn level, I think is right. I mean, it'd be sweet if he was 150. The only reason I think he's going to be more is because vampires themselves are not cheap, right? The actual players.
No, yeah, that's true.
Well,
So-
they weren't cheap. Are they all going to be the same, or with different positionals? Are they going to have slightly different prices?
They'll be different. They'll be different.
I imagine they will be. I'd like that because different rosters would be pretty useful, and definitely seeing the Vargeist squeezing in there would be good. And last guest for you guys, Count Luther, used to be 350.
He's going to be about 290, 310, something like that, isn't he? Because
What did he do? I don't even remember him as a player. I don't think I ever saw him.
Oh, well, at 350, you probably never did. And he could obviously only be taken by vampires, so it was just a case of, and you never really saw vampires in the before times.
Was he strength 5 or something?
Yeah, movement 6, edge 4, strength 5. I believe he had block as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, block,
Lunar,
hypno gaze,
block,
regen. Yeah.
gaze, regeneration, and our favourite skill of all, sidestep.
Oh, not on the wall. Foreshadowing.
Shut up. No, it's 390. Yeah, 6549.
He was 390.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I mean, he's just edge 4 big guy. Movement 6 with block and sidestep. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and no nega trait.
No negative. Yeah, that's mental.
It's been
So
confirmed.
Not only a hitter, a ball carrier, a defensive player, and that feels like you could do the Count Luther and a group of thralls type roster.
We have to play Griff humans versus Luther vampires at some point.
Oh yeah, God yeah.
Yeah.
Trips, you're running Griff.
Playing.
Well, assuming he also plays for, I mean, it'll be Sylvanian, right?
Yeah.
So is that Undead and Necro? Or is it just
Undead, Necro, Tomb Kings, and vampires.
Oh, and Tomb Kings as well. Yeah, I mean, him on like an Undead or Necro team as well. Like if he's got those kind of stats, that's
If he's affordable, like
But who cares? On a Necro, you just have some zombies.
Cheney's been really good
On
though.
Undead, you could drop a mummy. Tomb Kings, you could drop a Tomb Guardian for him and then squeeze him in.
That's like taking a Skaven team with no gutter runners, Trips.
Luther is a gutter runner and also a big guy.
I am super excited to see him in the new game. To see what he does. I really am. So yeah, I'm really, really, really intrigued to see how they will pan out. And I think, I mean, my prediction would be we're going to see an article about Bloodlust this week, and then probably, like you said, Trips, nothing until the Spike reveals start coming, which will probably be this Saturday.
This Saturday, yeah. There'll be people that have got them in line with the preview,
and the embargo will be that'll be interesting. All right, good. It means we've got a busy week coming up. I like that. As soon as we get the costs, obviously the videos start. I love that bit. I better tell Tiff that I'm busy Saturday.
Yeah, and Thursday.
Oh shit! But that's next Thursday. That's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine. Cool. Well, I'll tell you what. Talking about next Thursday. Unfortunately, BT's busy, but with vampires dropping, Trips is going to come over, and we are going to live stream a game using the new vampire rules. So it's going to be vampires versus, I think we decided, nobility.
Yep. Best thrower in the game.
And we are going to have a special guest join us as well, and it is going to be the Eonoff. Yeah, Warhammer was kicking around, so I was like, Ian, you fancy coming on and playing some Blood Bowl? He was like, I'll check, and he got permission, so figured that would be quite cool. So we'll get some Blood Bowl on the go. We'll do a live stream like we did last time, playing with the vampire rules, so people can kind of jump in and see how they perform ahead of their actual release date next Saturday, which I think will be a lot of fun. We haven't decided who's playing what yet, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out close to the time.
2 Ians on stream rolling. It's gonna be quick.
it
I do like.
depends.
Sorry, I do like that. It's confusing enough having two Bens, but it's
Yeah.
a good thing we've also got two Ians.
Yeah, well, we got Trips and Warhammer. I think
Yeah,
that's
there you go.
okay. That's okay. And you know, we've got me, Bonehead Ben, and backup Ben, I believe.
Backup Ben, yeah. Reserve Ben.
Tiff did find that quite entertaining. She was like, backup Ben, I like that. I'm like, oh, well, we know it's Bloodtithe now. Are we gonna have to change the name to Bloodtithe? Do we have to start
No.
calling you Bloodtithe?
Please don't.
Yes, brush of brushes.
It's so hard to say. Let's not do that.
Bloodtithe?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Let's see if we can say it 5 times quickly. Brush
Yeah,
Bloodtithe,
exactly.
Bloodtithe.
It'll summon me.
Betty bought a bit of butter. But Betty's butter was bitter, so Betty bought a better butter. Yes, no. Unique New York. Right, I think that's enough.
Well, there's one other teasy bit of news. There was the Celebrate Warhammer Day article.
Oh, yes, there was strips.
And they did say, what about a Warhammer Day preview? We'll be providing a glimpse of the future of Warhammer in the guise of exciting new miniatures. Now, that's probably going to be a Space Marine or two.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
But we can get excited for it and then be disappointed afterwards.
Okay, I think we do take a little bit of a tangent and talk about that. So, the Warhammer Day stuff, they tend to land quite impressive stuff on Warhammer Day, don't they? Like, well, not land it, but like do the preview,
Pre-tease,
the
preview.
yeah, exactly, the pre-teaser preview, or the preview teaser preview. Harder to say than Bloodtithe. The rumors were that they would be announcing the old world when it came around to it, because it's like 40 years or whatever, and they were going to do that as like the old world thing. But I have heard that they've pushed that back now because of all of the other pushbacks, specifically the epic bit being pushed back has meant that Epic is now taking up the old world release slot. So we won't see the old world until next year now. We've had a big 40k review, haven't we, Ben? We've had new 40k this year that's already broken, which I love. The Tyranids aren't even out yet, and that's broken too, which I super love. I'm just sitting over here in my smug Blood Bowl tower of like, worst thing that happened to us is a strength 3 gutter runner star. The bombs were pretty fun for a while. So 40k pretty much done, right? They're not. Is there anything kicking out there for 40k that they could be releasing or previewing at this point?
You know what?
Codex, so there probably will be a Space Marine, because you can't have Warhammer Day without a Space Marine captain, can you?
True.
There is one juicy rumor that I don't know if it's even remotely accurate, but they've just redone Terminators, and they've got the multi-part Terminators to come out. They've just redone Tyranids, including Gene Stealers, and Space Hulk is a classic Games Workshop game. So there is a rumor that Space Hulk is coming back, and that would be an absolutely primo time to drop it.
Space Hulk for Christmas. Ooh.
I
Wow.
know.
Yeah. That would I mean, after doing like Epic and stuff, that does cash in on all the nostalgia, right? So
Sort of. I think the problem with their release schedule is that Epic has dropped, and unfortunately the like, oh my god, let's go has now died.
completely fizzled. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not interested. Sorry.
The initial like, oh, this is awesome has kind of gone to, and the other 6 shiny things that they've previewed. So yeah, it could be Space Hulk. If it is Space Fleet, I'd be really excited. Battlefleet Gothic originally, Space Fleet.
Was Space Fleet before?
Yeah, man. Back when
God, they were so unoriginal, weren't they?
it was squares on a space map, and you rolled your dice inside the lid of the game, because the lid had a little drawing, had a grid on it, and where, depending on if your dice hit and which like box they landed in, was the hit location of where you actually hit the ship.
You just played like curling with your dice.
Like, chuck them in there. I thought it was a wicked idea. I never got to play it, but that was where Battlefleet Gothic started.
Okay.
Very much along the same lines as Confrontation. I was going through some of my old White Dwarfs the other day, and I found magazines from like the early 90s, late 80s, and Confrontation, which was the precursor for Necromunda. The rules are in there for that. Yeah, it's wicked.
That's awesome.
Some of the original art is like proper gnarly. So if it's 40k, they can't. I do not imagine a boxed game. I can see them do. There's also rumors that the new Space Hulk will be Warhammer Quest.
That checks out actually.
Yeah. Is that it will be a Warhammer Quest but set in a Space Hulk, and you will have potentially a Terminator and some other stuff, which would be very cool because old Hexbook Space was really good. Blackstone Fortress.
Oh, that one. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, undeniably great models as well. I think the Warhammer Quest lines are like some of the best.
I mean, it's specialist games, right? It's the non-core games for Games Workshop just do the best models. You know, you've got Trips and his space bikes in Necromunda, and the squats from Necromunda, and then you've got like the Underworlds teams and the Warcry teams and stuff. They're just allowed to explore. I think, and I love that. I think that's so creative. Like the Amble coming back in Blackstone Fortress was just an absolute highlight, and the Zote coming back was very cool as well. Although I think Blood Bowl did that first.
It did.
Yeah.
It's a shame that design stuff doesn't expand the mechanics of the board games, but whatever. Can't win them all. Sorry,
Blood Bowl's pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah. Blood Bowl doesn't count. Blood Bowl's League of its own.
Yeah, it is.
Munda's
good though.
Yeah, Munda's good. Kill Team's not too bad.
I was purely referring to Warhammer Quest when I said that.
Oh well, yeah.
Cursed City was cursed in all sorts of ways. Cursed City aired in the decline of this great era of wargaming.
What's Cursed City? Never heard of that one.
Yeah. So that would be my guess. Could be the old world. I can't see them doing anything else like that, but that would be my guess. But Trips, a great one. Although there is one more bit of news that you saying there's more news has reminded me of. Blood Bowl 3. There's actual Blood Bowl 3 news, right? I've not got it ready for the screen because I'm not sure anyone plays it anymore. But
but that's literally the problem at the moment. So Blood Bowl 3 Season 1 has wrapped up. There has been a short pause with nothing in the middle. And tomorrow is maintenance day from 6 o'clock in the morning British time and 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So it will be live by the time the podcast goes out. Season 2 will be out. We still don't know who the team are on the Blood Plus. We still don't know how much grinding is going to need to do it. And we don't know if they will fix anything else along the way.
We do know the team, don't we? Or at least we know the teams that are in there.
We know the teams in the game, but we don't know who the Season 2 team is.
And didn't this game come out in May?
No, it's February
or March, wasn't it?
Was it February?
Yeah, because remember there was 6 months season before the season, which was delayed, and then the season came out with the lizards in, and we still don't have.
That was May.
We still don't have.
Yeah, it was May.
Oh my word. It's so long.
The hobby is such a beautiful microcosm of humanity, isn't it? There's like the best. Like, I mean, even I'd argue that this squat miniature is just amazing. Like, but you know, Blood Bowl, some of the best, most fun interactions you can have playing a game. And then you give it to a company like Cyanide, and I don't know how they could have handled it worse, generally speaking. I don't know how the release could have been worse without it completely crumbling within itself. Like, I think it's got the tenacity of a Kinder Egg right now. Like, this is an interesting one.
I'm just on the point of Blood Bowl 3. There is a developer log just gone up. There's a tease for the new team. As we'll discover it tomorrow, here's a small hint. It has been a popular team during the Blood Bowl World Cup in Alicante.
Ooh, Corn?
Wait, as a what?
Popular team in the World Cup.
Undead?
I think Undead.
Yeah, they were third most, I think. Dark Elf, Skaven, Undead, I think.
Yeah. No ETA on the league and admin tools.
It's kind of I think you kind of just got to write BB3 off as having a year of development time. Like it's just a beta for a whole year, and then by that time there'll be 16 teams and league rules, and then it'll start cooking, I reckon. He says, being the optimist within this group.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, it doesn't stop tabletop from being pretty awesome. But before we move on, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who supports the channel in any way, whether you get your 3D prints from us, back us as a Patreon or a YouTube member, or just watch and like the videos. We massively appreciate it, and it means we can try and make some great Blood Bowl content. And although things have been a bit quiet over the last month, we are genuinely nearly there. The studio is built. I am insulating all the walls. The roof's on too, which has been very useful given how soggy the weather's been. So this weekend, I'm hoping to line all the walls. We've got to reinforce the blooming ceiling first so I can put stuff on, so I can put all the cameras and stuff. So I'm hoping by the end of the week, I'll have the carpet down as well. So walls will be in, carpet will be in. Power's going to come at some point, but that's what Black & Decker external cables are for. So I am hoping that we can set up the studio next week ready for the stream. It might be in the dining room in our house, but hey, we bought an 8-foot table, so I get to use it either way. So I'm happy with that. But yes, a massive thank you. That kind of sums up my hobby, but let's bounce into hobby and games. All right. Okay, hobby, games. Trips. I could bring up tool play. Should I bring up tool play?
Yeah, might as well.
Let's bring up tool play.
While you're doing that, give the background of this. So our league has kicked back off again for the winter version of it. We are playing a 8-game maximum league, and we have a series of new teams. I have taken a new team, and we have a number of people that have redrafted to 1300 TV. So League Night 1 was last night.
We've got a Goblin team, we've got a Dark Elf team, Khorne, Tomb Kings, Nobility, Snotlings, nice, Norse, Human, Dwarf, and Nurgle. Which of those teams?
In the participants as well, I also don't think there's any duplicates with the exception of Dwarfs.
Yes, just Dwarf.
Which is actually pretty good going, considering there's 18 players.
How do we get the little graph up?
News.
Oh, yeah. 2 dwarf teams.
Yeah.
Who's taking 2 dwarf teams? Why are we doing 2 dwarf teams?
Well, because James
brought the death roller.
Okay, I don't know. Someone is running one called Stark Raving Chads. Sam likes Scar. It's not Garner, is it? Is that a new Sam?
Different Sam.
Oh, I love that. Absolutely love that.
Sorry, Ian. I diverted there. So yeah, which team were you up against?
So I I've taken a Khorne team for this league. Was very excited to start off with them. So started with the build is a Bloodspawn, 3 Bloodseekers, Khorne dog, and then filled out with linemen. It actually enabled me to get some dedicated fans, which I suspect I will need because Khorne will take a time to level up, and I do not want to continually rebuy things all over the time. So for my lucky first draw, I was very much looking forward to which small squishy team would I get, and I got drawn against a returning team from the last league, and unfortunately it was Rooks, who have what can only be described as a thrower and 2 catchers with all of the best skills that you could get, and it being Rich, he's rolled them all on flipping randoms. So he does have a catcher with, as you can see, jump up, sidestep, sprint, sure feet, strip ball, and he gained tackle last night as well, which means that he can be defined as a pain in the backside.
This is so disgusting. The first legend player of the league as well. And yeah, this guy, I remember playing against him with Skaven, and he just made my gutter runners look like garbage.
Oh,
He just completely outspared. Just it was nonsense. Yeah, what a player.
and I think that his two most annoying players are actually the blitzers. So he's got two standard human blitzers, but both have guard, and they really hold his team together. So
Reminds me of your roster at Beachhead trips when we played against each other. I'm pretty sure you had a couple of blitzers with guard. Human blitzers with guard, just ugh. His throw is interesting as well. Accurate, Cannoneer, Cloudburster, Fumblerooski, Hail Mary Pass, all on randoms. I mean, Accurate is probably the only one there. Cannoneer.
Cannoneer with Cloudburster is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
At passing 2+.
It came in, it was used.
3+ long passes that can't be intercepted.
Yeah.
It's pretty
3
nonsense.
for a 10 square pass is pretty decent.
With those catchers on the other end.
Mr. Saxby. How was the game? Because we were kind of tracking it along.
Yeah. So due to there being a small amount of TV between the two teams, I got to take Scylla as my induced star. So what's better than one Bloodspawn 2 is always the answer to that question. And I won the roll off, so got to receive the ball purely so I could smack some humans turn 1. And with all that frenzy and big guys, managed to get a reasonably good first turn in. Second turn, Scylla decided to really ramp up and get the claws out, and not only knocked over the ogre, then straight killed it on a 16, and that was probably the highlight of the game for me.
We did talk about that one in chat on Ben's stream.
Yeah. That went well, and then after that, I returned to my old ways of rolling, and I think for the next 4 turns, I struggled to get past my second block without rolling double skulls, and I was rolling 2. I don't think I rolled a single 1-die block all night. So I did not roll well on the dice rolls, and struggled to keep the humans away. Ball got picked up, and Rich scored a turn 7 touchdown at the end of the first half.
Just realised what you've named your team.
Yes.
Yeah. It's clever.
And then second half started. We had the usual line of smash at the start, but unfortunately, at that point, Scylla got rather surrounded and got knocked out, and I think badly hurt, so out for the rest of the game. And as soon as you lose one Bloodspawn, then what happens next? The halfling comes in and fouls your other Bloodspawn, and he is now missing the next game and got -1 edge, which, to be fair, if you're going to lose a stat on a Bloodspawn, that's the one to lose.
Yes, fair enough.
Yeah.
It's more the miss next game that sucked.
Yeah, Rich managed to slowly work the ball down. Pretty good long pass in there, and this is where the game really went wrong. I think for the last 3 turns, he had the catcher 1 square out of the end zone, to which I blitzed to knock the ball carry over. That worked, and I was pretty happy with that. Then he had 2 players next to the sidelines, and it's like I've waited the entire night to him to put players next to the sideline with my frenzy players, and of course those are the blocks I started failing. I then failed to push his catcher out of the end zone with 3 different frenzy blocks.
Oh my god.
And eventually, having sculled 3 different players to the ground, he managed to pick up the ball and, in true elven human coach style, go, well, it's only a 5+5+3+, to which he rolled a 5, a 5, and a 3.
Pure ballistic skill, that one.
Yeah, so I took a 2-0 loss. I'm going to be down the Bloodspawn for the next game, so I have a feeling Scylla might be getting a second rollout. And
Scylla's good, right?
yeah, good up until you roll a 1 on the Unchanneled Fury, and I think I rolled.
Well, yeah, but the
I
first
rolled
time,
four.
he fails, you get to punch 2 guys at their side.
Well, he does if you're in the right place and you can do it.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah,
situational.
my Bloodspawn had, I think, 4 turns in the first half where he rolled a 1 on Unchanneled Fury, and twice he had an open lane to an unprotected thrower with the ball, and that thrower
Would have
when a
died.
Bloodspawn would have just been, well, the rest of the league would have been very happy.
Yes, that's the thing with the if you bring back a powerful team, put crosshairs on yourself.
Yeah.
But no, that's awesome, dude. I love that. It was when I realised that your Bloodsworn was called Bundy. I was like, oh. To be fair, the team is called Serial Killers, so it makes an awful lot of sense.
There is a clue in the title, and it's a range of famous corn worshippers, literally.
Yeah, true. I like Bateman the Congor.
Yeah,
my favorite.
Yeah, keep your business cards away from him.
Yeah, I didn't get many SPP, just got the MVP on a Bloodseeker, so I could go for a random skill.
No. You hold the course, Trips. It's just you're just one casualty away.
Don't fall into that trap. Don't do what Saxby did, because you won't get that lucky.
No, well, I know how I roll. I know how he rolls. And by about halfway through the second half, it was at the point when I was like, well, it's a 2 die. Oh.
You need your block. You need your Seekers with block.
Yeah.
So, not worth risking it.
Yeah. So I shall hopefully be able to get the team back online for when someone brings some high elves, because I fancy smashing a high elf team.
I mean, as long as that blood spawns out, I'll take my chances.
Interesting one. No, wicked. It's so nice to hear the league brewing up again. I will be coming to league, but not until vampires drop. I just want to run vampires, and I'm gonna wait. And if it's only a couple of weeks, it'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
BT, you're bringing your high elves to the league, aren't you?
I am, yeah. Because Khorne's going to be my tournament team, and I'm going to make some more use out of the high elves I got painted for the World Cup. Try them in league. It's like my first proper league team back in 2017 or whatever.
Completely ignoring the goblins, but yeah.
Yeah. That's the first proper league team.
That's just learn.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. I'm quite familiar with them now, so yeah.
That'll be
looking forward to it.
Very cool to see. So Ben, I know you've played at the World Cup. Any other cool games or hobby you've been working on?
Games. I did actually have a game of 40k at the weekend. Just impromptu. My neighbor was just like, "Hey, want to play some 40k?" I was like, "Not really, but let's play." And
was it fun or was it litigious? Is it litigious?
It was fun, because playing games with friends is always fun. But I don't know. It's a kind of game where, because I've been so in the Blood Bowl zone for so long, with the occasional like bit of conquest, like playing 40k again was just like, oh my god, I can't remember how any of this works. And I got absolutely destroyed, because he plays like every week, and it was still fun, but it was against chaos with my orcs, and I just sort of ran together the models I had and tried it, and everything died. So
you see, that's how wargaming used to be. I was thinking about this the other day when I was looking through old White Dwarfs. I was like, oh man, I remember when it used to be like, would you like to play a game of Warhammer? Yes. Do you have a 2,000 points? I can if I buy all the upgrades. And it was always like, I can get to 2,000 points. It was never like, whoa, let's just hone this. It was just simpler times. Simpler times. I think
it felt like that. It felt like a simpler times game of Warhammer.
I love that.
Enjoy.
That is going to be the goal of the studio. Is we're going to play some games that are not Blood Bowl, and we're going to put them on the second channel, and it is going to be like gaming to play games, to tell stories.
Any.
Yeah.
What was the mini tactics wars? We need to play that. Let's get that out. You know, that Kickstarter from ages ago.
Yeah, I've got the STLs. They're still working on them.
me too.
They're just doing some other bits. Yeah, that definitely
the
looks like
update.
fun.
Yeah, we should definitely do that.
In that vein, I have had no time to really do anything. It's been busy, just building houses and stuff like that. Playing with concrete mixers, which has been cool. But we're all moved into the house now, so I've got the little spare room set up as an office for now, which is cool. And I spent a couple of mornings on my holiday, just for like an hour in the morning playing Wargroove. Like I've been like last couple of weeks. Tiff's had really bad pregnancy insomnia, so she's just been like not sleep. She'd go to sleep for like an hour, wake up, and eventually fall back asleep at like 4 or 5 a.m. And then I wake up at like 7:30, 8. So I've just been getting up, going downstairs, making a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, and just playing Wargroove. And it really made me think of something you said the other day, Ben, because I kept getting really angry because I would deploy my units and their units would just like walk through them or walk past them. And I was like, oh yeah, there's no tackle zones in Wargroove. This is ridiculous. And I can't remember what was it you were playing the other day where you sent a message.
It was
You were like,
D&D. I came back from Spain, and the night I came back from on the plane, I had a D&D session online, and so I went straight into D&D after coming back from Spain, and I was there like on Roll20, moving through squares, being just like genuinely thinking, I can't move there because it's in the tackle zone. I have to make a dodge, and then being like, oh no, wait, that's not how it works.
so I'm screening with my war pups and like these things, and I'm like, right, yeah, screen, put them there. Yeah, they can't get through. That's fine. And they just walk through and like nut my leader. I was like, oh yeah, wrong game. Like this isn't actually Fumble. It just looks like Fumble with spears. But that's been good fun. That's probably as close to gaming as I've got recently. But that is going to change from next week. We've got the vampire stream on Thursday, the Ian versus Ian head-to-head, and then be playing TI on the Saturday, which will be outrageously entertaining. A bit concerned about that because everyone sort of said, oh yeah, it's going to take about 14 hours. I was like, oh jeez. Oh jeez, that's gonna be interesting.
Hey, I'm mad hyped.
It's just an awfully long time. But it should be
fine.
It should be interesting. But yeah, so that's good. Any more guys, or shall we talk World Cup?
Let's talk World Cup.
Let's talk World Cup.
Okay, so Bloodtithe might be hard to say, but what isn't hard to say is 20% off, because right now, if you want a pre-painted team or commission of anything you want, we've still got a 20% off sale at Bloodtithe until the end of the month. So if you want to do that, and vampires will be coming. By the time this episode airs, there will be a special offer for a vampire team for like a pre-order. So if you want that, that's going to be on Bloodtithe.com as well. So, and thank you to everyone who supported this website, because it's been a real stressful endeavor, and I'm very tired, but it's so worth it. And I'm really grateful for people who've placed orders or inquiries and things. It means a lot. So thank you.
Oh my God, is the podcast finally sponsored?
Yeah, that's the sponsored segment.
There you go. Yay. And today's ads. I did watch a good little Squidmar video earlier, which I don't ever watch, but this one I did, and he was like, this is about scams and today's scam, and then it went straight into their sponsor for the episode, which I thought was brilliant. But no, BT, I'm so glad.
Bloodtithe is not a scam. Let's put that in big text to clarify after you said that.
No. I'm so glad you're doing this, and I'm very glad that you got vampires. They're going to be up there because that's, I reckon, is going to be quite popular.
Yeah, we've had a couple of inquiries in already. So,
dude, that's fantastic.
Yeah. The deadline up the top will be updating as well. So it's currently some 45 days for a GW team order. Not commissions. They can take longer, but then you get a bespoke deadline anyway. So vampire teams, you may be a little bit of a wait, but hey, it's there.
Fantastic. Good stuff, Ben. Anyway, back to the regularly scheduled programming. That's the words. Oh, actually, before we move on, let's go to your travel vlog. I'm recording on my side. So Ben has joined us with his team, or shall I say, Ben has joined their team.
Absolutely their team.
This is coming straight from
our team.
Yeah.
Our team.
Ben, the new star member.
The new star, yeah. Well, don't say that until I've at least won a couple of games.
Yeah, tomorrow.
9 chances, yeah. Yeah.
Tomorrow's going to be pensive. There's going to be a lot of pressure on you, BT. Anyway, guys, say hello. Ben, introduce everybody, and then.
So we've got team captain Hayden, HD, painting extraordinaire.
Oh, we know HD.
JJ. He's our necromantic coach. He pitch cleared me in training.
Oh, heard all about that. That was amazing.
And we have Adam. He's playing Underworld. Our token tier 1 cheating player. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
What's up, HD? What are you playing? What are you running?
What are you running?
Chosen to run orcs for this one, so running the nice Plunger pirate orcs. Quite new to them, but yeah, good. I like the nice, easy, simple play.
Yeah.
A lot of symmetrical play, lack of thinking, and it'll do me well on day 3, I think.
Yeah.
So, is anybody running any nasty stars that is going to upset people?
Well, Adam's up against not in our team, but Adam's up against halflings tomorrow.
Yeah,
Which-
Carla and Griff
Yeah.
in the same.
Oh.
You're a bit worried about it.
I'm still worried about it.
Well, you know.
It's Joe Solo as well, so he's a familiar coach.
Oh man, you're playing Joe Solo with 2 of the best stars and 2 treatment and a bunch of bumps. Yeah. That's that. You'll be fine. Just all you gotta do is foul the crap out of Griff, and you'll be alright.
That's the aim. I mean, I am playing Underworld, so
That's true.
If you play a line round, we'll hopefully do some work.
What level Underworld are we playing? Is it Bomber? Is it Hack Flem? Or is it Vanilla Underworld?
No, it's all Underworld, no stars. Which I've learned that 90% of the rosters at the World Cup are touting Barag or
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
or Morg.
Yeah.
Barag.
Yeah.
That's an interesting choice because the Rat Ogre isn't good enough, or what? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of them have got Barag and the Troll.
Yeah. Farag and a troll.
And I've got the Roger and.
It's just there's no skill cost for barracks,
Yeah.
whereas skill cost for hack flare and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, Hack Flem just wipes out most of your roster, doesn't it? So that's.
I don't think you've seen a hack fan roster. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
be
think you
looking.
will. You might get a couple of snotling people there just punting.
I think there's only a couple of snotling people.
Oh, that's sad. That's sad. Oh, but that's
Yeah.
amazing. Okay, so how was the opening ceremony?
Yeah. So we are just here. We were at La Marina, which is honestly quite gorgeous. We just had the opening ceremony over there.
Oh man.
So if you've seen our pictures online and stuff, that's what we've had. They had a metal rendition of The Greatest Showman, which was a choice. They announced pretty much all it was just going through the motions. They had the previous winners.
Westlife Blood Bowl song. Was it Westlife?
Yeah,
Backstreet Boys?
yeah,
Yeah,
Backstreet
Backstreet
Boys,
Boys,
but yeah,
Backstreet Boys,
which they tried to get audience participation to some success.
Yeah.
And it was all good. It was just an announcement. They did say it's going to be €2 pints at the place, which I think is the most important news that everyone cared about. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It was quite short. I don't know what anyone was expecting. Yeah.
I mean, they had a full-on marching band last time, didn't they?
Yeah. So again,
They had a full-on marching band of the Austria one. So I was interested to see how they did this. I wasn't expecting Blood Bowl Westlife. That's amazing.
no, yeah.
I did get some local councillor who looked totally bemused.
Yeah.
Some kind of speech. And she was like, what the hell is that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you just wait till tomorrow midday when there's I don't know, if out of 2,000 people, maybe 400 drunk, topless Blood Bowlers shouting at each other in different languages. That's going to be carnage, guys. That's just... Yeah. Now, given that you said your bus is at 7:15 in the morning, I'm assuming you're going out pre-drinking tonight.
I think a moderate amount, yeah. But
Moderate to high.
yeah, God.
Well,
I'm still quite caught up on sleep yet, so.
I was going to say, we barely heard from Ben. We were able to check in on him this morning. He was like, sorry, already hungover. I was like, oh, this is just amazing. So, first round then, lads, and then I'll let you go find some dinner. Who have you got first round? Who you play? What team are you playing against? Do you know?
So I'm playing Gerga, Dan Maskell's Dark Elves.
I cannot believe that you are playing Dan Maskell. You've flown to
Right.
Alicante and you are playing Entoyment Regular.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Guy I see all the time. Oh, that was funny because they said in the announcement, just we're all here to have fun. We're all here to play people that we're probably never going to see again. And it was just, yeah, no, far from it. So I've got Dark Elves.
I've got a mirror match of orcs against Vindaloo.
Yeah,
Oh,
Vindaloo.
oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
This is so upsetting. I know these names.
Have a mirror match necromantic.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Again, you've got.
It's not John, is it?
Yeah, Dalio. Dave. Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I'm bringing out all the regulars. This is
The classic. This is just like a normal tournament thing
Yeah.
they're going through.
Is
And,
this
yeah.
is this Beachhead?
Yeah, exactly. And Adam.
Flying Underworld versus Griffin Carla,
Yeah.
and some tiny people and a few sticks of wood.
Yeah.
That's Joe Solo, right?
It is. Yeah.
There is a chance that, bless him, he will drink too much and just not turn up because he's done that to us.
seems like what his plan is. So yeah. That would be good.
Hopefully he just drinks too much and turns out.
Yeah.
Music returns, but maybe not meant to.
Yeah. True.
Oh.
We've got 2 more members as well. We've got Tomb Kings are playing an opponent High Elf. And what's the other one? Skaven. Skaven against Undead. Yeah.
Oh man, these are some proper teams, lads. Well, look, thank you so much for jumping in, Ben, and good luck, everybody. I'm
right.
proper buzzing. Oh, and do let me know if how much vampire buzz there is there, because I imagine everyone's going to be touting their opinions.
Yeah. It seems to be a point of conversation. So
I imagine everyone's hating. Well, I imagine loads of people are hating the big guys. But yeah, that's wicked. That's wicked. Well, lads, have a wonderful time, and Ben, hopefully we'll catch up tomorrow.
yes, we'll catch up tomorrow. Same again.
See you.
All right. See
Amazing.
you later.
Good luck, guys. Okay, so that was Ben's little, I say travel vlog. We just had a call, didn't we, to talk through day one. You'd just been to the opening ceremony at the NAF World Cup. So this is just like a massive, massive Blood Bowl tournament. What do they have in the end? Like 2,000 players, something like that?
Over. Yeah, I think it was 2,400 or something.
That is outrageous. It looked very
I
cool.
was pretty near the bottom.
Huh?
I can tell you because it's going to be around where my player number was on the final score. So. 2-2-3-2. There you go.
You were
That's how many it was.
2-2-3-2.
No, I wasn't. There were 2-2-3 coaches there.
Amazing. So, Ben, we're just going to have a chat about this. Trips and I are going to jump in and do questions. We can start off with your round one. We can go through each round if you want, or you can pick out highlights or just talk us through the event. But before we get into round one, you have the opening ceremony on Thursday, which sounds amazing. What was it like walking in with the team Friday morning to the venue?
Yeah, so Friday morning was good actually. So it was quite a bit of a queue. So the buses went really early. So there was like 7:15, 8:15 buses, I think. 8:15 was the latest. So we got a taxi and at like a reasonable time. We showed up, huge queue, and everyone was outside this venue. Everyone in their squads, and everyone was saying hi, and it was actually really cool to sort of see everyone. That's where I bumped into a lot of people that I recognized, familiar faces. I think some guys, I'm pretty sure this was Friday morning, set off a cannon or like a firework, some banger, and scared the hell out of everyone. And we were joking, being like, man, if the UK held this and that got tried, like in London, could you imagine that?
Please.
Yeah, right. It's all very laid back. So when we finally got into the hall, it took a little while because they were giving out gift bags as well. But it was all very streamlined. It started off quite delayed. I think game one was an hour late. Yeah. So day one was a bit slower, but like in tournament hall, it was so cool. Like it's like going to a convention and you have all the stands around the room, but all of them is like Blood Bowl stuff. Normally you're like looking for something that might be Blood Bowl. Over here, it's just like, oh my God, I know all these names. Green Stuff World, you've got, Ware Games. It's just, it was awesome. So we found our table, which again, really easy. They told you way in advance what table you're going to be on. Like we knew the Monday of that week what table we were going to be on. So you can just walk over there, find your table, plonk your stuff down. In your gift bag, everyone was provided a neoprene mat, which you then lay out. And so you didn't have to like go to each table and have to play on something. Some people take them. You all had your own neoprene. And so it's kind of whichever player gets there first just lays out their mat, set up. Everyone had tokens and like metal coins. Everyone had a metal ball token, enamel. It's all very, very nice. It was
some bling.
Yeah. So I'm not surprised it was a late. I think there was some security things, so everyone was a bit late getting in. But other than that, smoothly. And then game one, up against the Entoyment crew.
Which is ridiculous, right?
I mean, we couldn't believe it. The joke was that, or the joke is, whenever I play in a tournament with Joe Solo in, we will get paired. Like, we always get paired against each other. So to go to the World Cup and have that happen to our teams is... if we had been paired individually, that would have been too much. And I would have, like...
Yeah, that would have been absolutely fixed at that point.
Yeah, no, I was up against Gerga with his Dark Elves. Yeah, that was a tough game. I won't go into too much detail of each game because we'll be here forever because there were 9. But yeah, no, this game, it was just honestly proper standard, like Dark Elf, High Elf. Like, he caged very well. He did like go down to the end, break through when you can, and just hold it there, and then have like multiple screens in the corner. And I just couldn't break through. It was really hard, really tough to break through. I tried a 1 turn as well, because that's something I learned at the World Cup. Is if your team can do a 1 turn touchdown, you need to know how to do it,
and you need to know how to protect it.
Exactly, yeah, and protect against, yeah. So the best games would be the ones where you're like, you know, Tomb Kings versus
Dwarfs,
undead or something. Yeah, or yeah, there you go. And yeah, so I tried it, failed it, didn't have any rerolls. But yeah, it was just a tough game. Is what it is. It was rough to start off with a loss because my team did really well. So Ben has on the screen. We got 4 wins as a team, 1 draw, and I was the only loss, which, yeah, it didn't feel great. So I was already going in there being like a weak link player. My team's phenomenal. And I was just like, don't worry, I've got this. I know high elves. I know these players. I've played them before. I've seen them play. It'll be fine. And yeah. But hey, it was fine.
I tell you what, though, it's the first game at a tournament. There's it's not a barrier, but there's like you've got to kind of like break the seal, right? You got to get flowing, and I can imagine like if you are at all introverted, to get paired, like I would love it. I'd be like, first round, and it's those people. I know those people. Okay, game 1, let's go. Like, let's get into the mojo of it. Instead of, and this is going to be my first question, probably into the next round, is instead of immediately being like, right, we are an hour behind on the round. We know what's going on, and now we've got a language barrier and everything. Actually, I don't know. I think that's a nice start. Plus, you crushed them, which is hella impressive, to be fair. Like with Dalio on there as well, and I mean, and
they're really good. They're all very good players, and it takes me to what I love about this squad mechanic. I love this. Team tournaments are so good because, sure, I got a loss, but everyone is like really supportive because like, well, we got a team win. That's really all that matters. Like, the result of your team is the one that matters. So if you overall win, it doesn't really matter. You can afford some draws. And like, that's the thing is, when everyone's playing, like at sort of around half time, everyone's sort of just being like, how you doing? How you doing? Is it going to be like a draw? Is it looking like a draw? Is it looking like a win? You know how hard you got to try. And I always love that. So sometimes it'd be like, oh, we kind of need a win there. So I'll be like, okay, let's go for a more aggressive, like, let's get a touchdown in. Let's try and break their cage. And yeah, I loved it.
We did Fubble Wobble Cup, didn't we? It's like a mini team tournament. That was squad versus squad. That was quite interesting. So I like that. So that was round 1. Then you went into round 2, Ben.
So round 2 was against a Danish squad. So we had our familiarity of Entoyment, and we were like, okay, let's see the world. And we went to Denmark. And okay, I'm going to say this about every team we played. Everyone was phenomenally lovely. And it was something, you know, you'd be nervous about. There's going to be a lot of squads, and a lot of them are, everyone at the World Cup is taking it seriously. Like, these are, you know, it's the biggest tournament. And I was always going to be worried that you go up against a team that would just sort of be like, sunglasses on, headphones in, I'm not interested, I just need a win. And not in the slightest, the exact opposite. Everyone was as friendly as I'd ever meet at a tournament, and more. And by the last game, we were just laughing with each other. It was so good. So yeah, this
just the prospect of coming to a Blood Bowl tournament and having everyone being professional poker players is just
right. That's what I was worried about. My first opponent, Gerger, had poker dice. He was like, "I'm not taking any chances. I need my dice to be as fair as they can." He had proper poker dice. They were lethal. So throwing them out, I thought you were going to take my eye out with them.
So round 2, Bloodtithe.
Yes.
Old World Norse.
Yeah, so Old World just meaning that it's with the Old World package of star players. He I think he ran a star, but not many people did. World Cup rule set disallowed it. Not disallowed, but highly disincentivized.
Yeah.
Yeah, really really well played. He was very, very good with his Yeti in this. He really made it challenging. I mean, Yeti kind of negates the high elves benefit over other elves with the claws. So
that's a really good point. It's a strong counter.
Yeah, he did remove a lot of key players, and it was a challenging game. I can't remember the exact score of this one. I think this was a 2-0 loss. Maybe a 2-1. But yeah, it was another loss for me, unfortunately. He again though graciously played and really helpful. My team though did pull out 3 wins. With I was one of 3 losses, so we got a flat draw. So we were there with a win and a draw, which was looking pretty positive. But again, I was feeling really good at this point. I was like, it's World Cup, I've got 2 losses in a row.
I know, you did jump into the chat and you were like, not like, actually, was this the point at which you were like, I don't know if I'm enjoying this anymore?
No,
that was round 3. And it was against.
It was round 3.
Skaven.
No, it can't have been against round 3 because this game was amazing. It was day 2. Yeah.
It was day 2.
Yeah. So round 3 was another Danish team, and this is after this game, which is basically guaranteed I'll be going to the Danish Open in Copenhagen next year.
Oh, amazing!
So I'm super keen to go. Yeah, it looks so fun. Yeah, I was playing against Mark or Nimoen with a Skaven, and this was the start of my streak of playing Skaven as high elves, and I hate that matchup so much. It was the one that going into the World Cup, I was like, okay, as long as I don't get against Skaven or Underworld, I'll be happy. I got 3 Skaven games, and I was just like, oh, because it's the prehensile tail on the Rat Ogre is miserable. It's so miserable, and I was just have to do everything to avoid getting stuck by it. This game, though, I'm pretty sure 2-1 and incredibly close. I nearly pulled off a win here. I think I needed a dodge from the tail to like cement.
But you love 3+ dodges.
Yeah, but not not when you're usually on a 2. It's yeah. I again don't remember too much, but I just remember this game being incredibly fun and Mark being like basically encouraging me to go to the World Cup. And my team though did very well. We had a win with Underworld against Lizards. Our Orc player HD got undead, which is good because he only got Underworld and Orc for like the rest of the tournament. I remember Tomb King smashing Chaos Orc, which was really good. But yeah, Break Monker as well on his 3-win streak, who went on to do wonderful things.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. Oh, no, sorry. He was on his 2-win streak. This was his loss. So this is where he started to feel downhearted. So he played against Underworld as Skaven and got a loss here. But we were feeling good.
So end of day 1, you've done your first day of the World Cup. I mean, how were you guys feeling? Like you've traveled, I'm going to say across the world. It's really not that far to Spain, but for a tournament, it is. You've all stuck in. You had an early start. I believe the day was pretty long.
Yeah, so lunch was after game 1, and after that delayed start, they started lunch, and it was they made a massive paella, or like 5 massive paellas, and the queue went up miles, and it took so long. So I waited to the very end, and then the queue was non-existent, and snuck in, got my food, went to play my game. but it meant that their gap there was incredibly long. And I think game 2 didn't start until around 4.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And then game 3 was around 7. And it was basically like, yeah, it finished up around 9. And I remember the buses were meant to be leaving at like 8:30 or 9:30 or something. And so it was the games were finishing after the buses had like been queued to leave. So it's a really long day. And bearing in mind, they leave the destination at like 7:15 in the morning, and you leave the destination at 8:30 at night. These are long days. And it's I mean, it's quite good because you get plenty of time to meet people, and I did, which was awesome. But after day 1 of that long day, we were shattered but feeling really good. As a team, we had 2 wins and a draw, which was great. We were climbing the ranks. I didn't feel good personally. I remember feeling pretty remorseful because I felt like I was really letting the team down because I had 3 losses.
Yeah, you did say that.
Unfortunately, they're really
with us.
supportive. But yeah, it's the downside of the squad tournament was like, if you lose 3 games, it's kind of just like, and you're on your own, you're just like, it's fine, I lost, whatever, I'll do better next time. But when like people are kind of relying on wins, it's like, letting people down. But
yeah. There's going to be bad matchups, and you're going to have a ringer. You're going to have ringers in every team, and you're going to have bad matchups in every team.
Yeah.
So
I felt like all 3 games though I played, I could have played better, and that's where it felt like I felt like going into day 2, I'm going to be like, okay, right, I've lost 3, I'm going to win 3, and I'm going to make up for it because I'm comfortable with the team now. Like I've warmed up, I know what I'm doing wrong, I know where the mistakes are made. I was getting help from my coaches. So Break Mungo, who's a Skaven player, also plays High Elves, and he was I was getting some teaching with him in between rounds, being just like, okay, what's a good defense against this kind of team? What if they're going to do this sort of formation? How do you break into that? When do you break into that? And yeah, it was useful to know. So yeah, day 2, I was feeling really positive actually. Like the night of day 1, got it. Morning of day 2, hopeful.
So at the end of that, obviously you wrapped up at like midnight. Did you guys go out for dinner? Did you go out for drinks? What was the
I
score?
think night 1 we went out for tapas actually. Which was good. Went to a small little like tapas restaurant, had some drinks, talked about the games, talked about where to improve, had some beers. We didn't go crazy because the thing with the World Cup is like the beers were actually really cheap. So everyone got like a 400ml cup, and it was €2 to top that up.
Oh wow!
Day 3 they made it €1. It was just that's dangerous. And yeah, so it was very, very cheap to drink there. And so it's kind of been like an ongoing thing throughout the day. And as usual, like there was the etiquette that was kind of evolving where it's like, if you beat your opponent, you usually buy them a drink. So naturally I was getting bought drinks. And, so it was all very good.
Tank for the tankard. Nice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. So you started the next day. So day 2, round 4. Again, another early start with you guys? Or
well, we had a taxi again. We said, okay, we're going to sack off we'll go home on the bus, that's fine, but on the way there, let's taxi in. It's get an extra hour in bed. We don't have to panic. Picks us up from the door. So yeah, but hey, we get there, and this one going in smoothly. Round 1 starts bang on time. It was great. This was like it was like clockwork from here on. Like day 1 was a bit ropey, but 2 and 3 were perfect. I can't fault them. They were so good.
I mean, imagine that. I mean, sometimes we end up 10-15 minutes late starting our tournaments because one of the coaches is just outside and has gone missing. And it's kind of like, I can't imagine that with 2,400 players. Just getting them into a hall. I mean, you've been to Salute or something like that, into a big convention where there's X thousands of people. It just takes time.
Yeah. It really does.
It's good to hear. It's good to hear get a day 2 kicked off on time. And who did you have in round 4?
It was the Mordorgatans. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but they're from France. Really fun team. I was playing against Julian. So the way pairings worked is the best player of the team plays the best player of the team.
Brilliant.
So you've got an internal Swiss like with each other. So I was playing Julian, and we were both like, yeah, we've had a rubbish first day. I think we're both on 3 losses. But we're just like, we're both here. Let's do this. and we were really into it. And I was playing against Necro, and I was really nervous because last time I played Necro with my high elves was when I had my practice weekend.
Oh
And
yes.
our own Necro coach pitch cleared me in practice. So I was there being like, no, game one is Necro. And man, it went well. It went very well. I took on the learnings that Dante or Breakmonker had taught, and I restricted him. Like, I was just like, I'm not giving you blocks. Like, I'm going to play super defensive. So I think he received, and I defended and just went like, sort of formed him. It was like an elf screen kind of, but then you funnel them to a sideline, and a team like Necro can't really break through that, not without some good frenzies. And yeah, ended up just harassing and picking things off. And I think it was a 2-1 win, where I was able to get the ball and throw it and do all the high elf stuff when you need to.
You've got to do,
yeah.
you've got to do the high elf stuff. I mean, Trips, I know you must have played at least one Necro team with your high elves in the Entoyment League. What do you think of the matchup?
Necro are not a great matchup for high elves because they can do some of the things that high elves do well, but they can bite, literally.
Yeah. They have the speed. They have like more speed, kind of.
Yeah. I don't think high elves playing fast teams is a good matchup at all because it takes away the massive advantage that you have with a high elf, that everything can move.
Yeah. I remember there was one play I did really at the end. So this is where he nearly equalized it. So this was where I said I was playing defensive. I made it a 1-1 very quickly. And I was receiving for basically my second attempt for my 2-1. And when it came to his last turn, I had before that put in 4 scoring threats and had the ball way back with my thrower. And so he then had like 1 blitz, but then to try and prevent 3 catches and a blitzer from scoring, because any one of them I could pass to and they could score. And he did so well. I think his turn took like 15 minutes. And I said, look, it's your last turn. I'm literally going to be lobbing this. You know that. So, yeah, do you? And he had perfectly marked them. And I still had to do, I think, a 3+2+ dodge or something.
Oh no.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you'll find out later that went wrong 3 more times. Yeah.
Okay.
It was like, but he had done as best as he could in that situation, which it was brilliantly done. But,
so by this point, you played 2 Danish teams and a French team.
yes, and an English team. Yeah.
Yeah. The following question does not apply to those people, even though they're from Dorset. No. Language barrier.
Oh, not a problem. It was never a problem. They make the official language of the tournament English, and they've definitely verified that. So they do encourage everyone. They're saying, look, we're in Spain, but the language everyone needs to use at the table is English, unless obviously you're both Spanish or something.
Yeah. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
As an Englander,
it was honestly never. The only other thing was against this team actually, handoff doesn't translate very well. So the French call it transmission, I think. But yeah, like if you say like I'm going to do a handoff, that probably doesn't translate.
Oh, that's interesting. Did they give you crib sheets or anything with like?
Actually, in your pack, you had a little. I
love that.
I don't think I have it with me, but yeah, you had a little leaflet, and it had every skill with every translation and the terms. Yeah.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. So, Ben, your team crushed it this round. Your
we felt so good.
Had paid off.
Yeah, like I remember. I think my game was the last one to play because again, he had a long turn on the last turn, and like the cheers I got, like pats on the back, just like yes, Ben, you had another one. Like when I got that final pass, and yeah, it was. It felt good. It felt good to have the 6 win because we said as a team we're going to be really happy if we come away with a 6 win game.
Yeah,
it's going to feel awesome, and this did. This put us like really, really energized for the next round,
and brought you guys all the way to table 8.
Table 8, right? And there were,
160 tables, 180 tables.
Yeah.
There was 372 teams or something, wasn't there? 330.
Yeah, 186 tables.
Yeah. And you were at table 8. I'm not sure you've been at table 8 in one of our tournaments for a long time.
No. Yeah, it was because their tables were set in rows of 10, so you kind of had like top row. So top row felt like top table.
Ooh,
Oh,
God,
because there was
this
so
is
little in
just-
between.
It's just amazing.
Yeah. I think I can't remember if at this point we were top England. I don't know if we were, because they were all the president's men. That game did really highly. Let's have a look. Actually, squad score after round 4. Where are we? We're 16. I think we might have been actually. Looking at the team names, I don't think any of these are English. Chimera, which are they? They're not English. Yeah, so I think we might have been actually top England at this point, which felt
Ah.
awesome.
That is,
That's pretty good.
that's
yeah.
so cool.
And yeah, and it was against another French team, the Lutece Noobs. And I was up against Willem with my second Skaven, where this is where I was just like, oh no, it's table 8 and I'm Skaven. And this game, this is the one which I got a loss. But I really don't feel bad about this loss because I got diced. Not as in like, okay, not he didn't dice me actually. My dice just didn't Ian. It was I pressured him to score. So with Skaven as well, like he was going for like a delayed score thing. I pressured him to score turn 6, like he had to. Like otherwise I was just going to ruin him. So he was just like, oh, that sucks. Okay. So I had 3 turns to put the ball in. And that's easy with elves, with high elves. And then my thrower got 1-1 on the pickup.
Ugh.
And then turn 2, 1-1 on the pickup.
Ooh.
Turn 3, he picked it up, threw it to the catcher, 1-1 on the catch. And I was just like, there's not.
You
a lot I
can't
could
do
have done
anything
there,
about
but
that, can you,
no,
Trips?
yeah, like
It's the worst feeling. I had that in my my semi-final game against Underworld, which is like it's 1-1. That's it. Double skull,
Yeah.
reroll, skull both down. Can't do anything. Like it's just you
There's one in
one
30
turn a
seconds.
game. It happens, and that's fine because you can
Yeah.
play ready for your opponent to do that for that one turn. That's what I love about Skaven. I'm
Yeah.
imagining the theme of this is going to be that. But you know, if you string a couple together, you just end up not. Your opponent gets to play a whole quarter more than you do.
Yeah, exactly. And I had put in like did the sort of thing last time where I sent in threats because Skaven struggle, I guess, with multiple threats. And I was trying to back them up with the linemen because they can bash like the gutters and stuff. And I was just
Yeah.
wanted to put on some threat. Well, I was assuming going to fail up the second pickup, which I did. So I had a good situation then, but then he was able to just move around, and yeah, it was annoying. If I got that catch, it would be fine. But yeah.
Man.
so that's why I don't really feel too bad. So I missed out on that, and then I was 1-0 down in my drive. I think I scored quick because I wanted to have enough time to get the ball off the gutters. So I got a 2-turner, and then then he was able to get the 2-1. So
And the theme kind of carried out for the team on this one. 2
yeah.
draws, a win, and 3 losses.
yeah, this was
Your
a rough one.
first
This team was really
loss.
good. I think this team finished really high actually. They're always on the top. So really good squad. Yeah, but our first team loss, yeah. So down we went.
back to the top, back to the top 26 table. So down to
Yeah,
table
just the top 26.
26 against Potato Patata.
Yep, that is another Danish team. This one was.
Okay, Fabulous Beard is an excellent NAF name.
It is a bit better than Jew.
Or Ball Crusher. Yes, there's a couple of really interesting ones there.
But yeah. So this is our
You
third-
got Skaven again with the hair.
right after that miserable experience, I'm just like, oh, here we go again, more Rattoga nonsense. And
God, I love the rat.
yeah, this one I feel bad about. So we were the last game to finish, and this was a really grueling. It was a really like unaggressive game, considering it's Skaven High Elves. I was expecting all my Skaven High Elf and Underworld game. Well, I don't have any Underworld, but all of those kind of matchups, I was assuming they're going to be like 3-2s and things. My Skaven my High Elf Necromantic was a 3-2. But this was like, I think 0-0 half time, and then I think I got a Yeah, I got a touchdown on my drive, and then he received and got to the very end and needed a 2+ rush into the end zone on 10-16. And he's got his teammate to lift his dice cup for him, and it was a 1, and he just left. And it was oh no, so it would have been 1-1 at that point. It would have been 1-1 at that point. But then he needed that to win, and he left, and I was just like, oh god, no, the relief on that, seeing that, because it was after a reroll as well, which was
This looks like a super tough one for the team. Bashto losing, Punchy and Break both winning, HD, and your Tomb King player drawing.
Yeah, so we had Mirror Underworld, Mirror Orc in this.
Ooh.
Yeah. Which, it's brutal. But again, now this is the third Danish team, and this is like, okay, see you in Copenhagen, another rematch. And yeah.
Amazing. So that one kind of wraps up day 2. At this point, you're on 4 wins, a draw and a loss as a team.
Yep.
As a squad,
Mm-hmm.
sorry.
And personally, I'm win, draw, loss on day 2.
That's all right.
Yeah, I figured, okay, right. 3 losses day 1, win, draw, loss day 2.
3 wins day 3.
Here we go. Oh, the I don't think I'm having fun anymore was during that dice rolling of that 1-1-1-1. That was where I was just like, I can't. Like,
Yeah. Well, the thing is, as soon as you stop playing Blood Bowl, it stops being fun to play Blood Bowl.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter whether you're playing, a league game, a tournament game, or just a blooming like Death Bowl Sevens game. Like if you don't get to roll, like if you don't get to play, you don't get to play. I think that was I think that's when the curse started, Trips, isn't it?
Yeah.
That Death Bowl game was bad for everybody. Shall I destroy the pitch?
Yeah, I think so.
I've got to skip until Friday. I'll chuck the pitch into the skip.
I was having a lot of fun until I just tried to not roll a 1.
I mean, you're never supposed to say it out loud.
You sure you didn't put some like Native American bones underneath that pitch or something?
Might actually have to take a crowbar to it just to like end the curse. So BT, end of day 2. What did the team get up to? Squad.
So end of day 2. I can't remember where we went actually. I think this might have been pizza. I think we went and had a pizza. It's classic traditional Spanish pizza, and it was good. We all got through it as a whole team because one of the guys was with his wife and kid. Another one was staying with a friend, so it was nice to go out as a full team. So we wanted to be like a big restaurant, so we did that. And we're feeling good because we finished on table 26 and then won the game. So we knew we were going back up again, and we were like, here we go, we got this. So we started day 3, bright and early. We had a few beers after this one, but I was never hungover in these games. So I made an effort not to be. But day 3, this is where things got very spicy. So we went to table 15, had another 15. French club, the Bordeaux Blood Bowl Club, who actually had their own wine made and gave it to us as a team. So we have a bottle of red wine with their squad on the front of it.
The problem is you can never drink that.
No, I think our Underworld coach has finished it off. So, but yeah, I thought that was a really kind gesture. I had Patchy, the Lizardman coach, and I am gutted about this game. I'm so gutted about this game. I played a again, defense on high was something I always struggled with, and it's something I really practiced, and I got really good at it. And going into this game, I was like, okay, I know how to defend with elves. Like this is great now. I'm gonna let them move slowly. I'm gonna waste their turns, and then when it gets like turn 6, I'll start putting on the pressure, start bashing corners of cages, and then eventually jump in. And I was like, okay, this is going great. And I jumped in. I got a 2-3+ dodges, and then a 2 die on his ball carrier skink, and murdered it. The blitzer who did the blitzing picked up the ball, and so he was there on his like turn 8 with my blitzer with the ball, and I or before that, so before my blitzer had the ball, I had moved the catcher into his backfield. And I was there being like, okay, well, I'm not going to rush because I need to get that blitz, so I'm going to leave him there. And then he then tried to get the ball off my blitzer. He rolled 14 dice and didn't get a single POW. He was in the middle of all these lizards, and he was positioning it perfectly. He was like, okay, there, into chain, into chain, into chain, into chain, into chain. It's getting these 2-die blocks, 14 dice, no POWs. And then on my turn, I handed off my thrower, lobbed it down the end of the pitch, 4+4, like reroll. Catcher caught it. Oh no! This can't be right. No, so I did the blitz first, then I did the catcher on the turn. I had an extra turn, and the catcher moved there, and I counted the squares, and he was 2 rushes away for blitzing that catcher. And I thought, that's probably okay. I'd rather he roll the rush than I roll the rush and fail this, because that catcher needs the ball. So I then hand off to the thrower passes it to catcher gets the ball. That's great. But then he has one more turn, and he blitzes the catcher, gets it, and knocks him down. And then I don't have any more players to score. And that was the moment where I was just thinking,
should I have gone for it?
damn, I should have just rushed. I should have made it impossible. Why play the chances of him rolling a rush when I can just roll the rush and make it impossible? That was where I had that in mind. I think also in my mind was, if I failed that rush, the ball is here in my backfield, because I couldn't have thrown it yet. And yeah, I don't know. I just felt like that was a game where I was just like, okay, I drew this game. I definitely should have won that game. Like, I should have thought about it a bit more. I was riding too much of the high of him surviving.
By this point, you've gone from, I know I could have done better, and I feel crap, to,
yeah,
I know what I could have done differently.
Yeah.
In a situation where I don't know if what you did was the wrong thing. Because actually, if you're playing defensively, and actually it is better sometimes to make them roll that. In fact, it's almost always better. I mean, geez, it's almost always better. When you're playing tight competitive Blood Bowl, and this is what we're not going to touch on today too much, Ben, is actual like competitive Blood Bowl and the tournament like kind of vibe, because that deserves its own episode, especially given what we're planning on doing next year. So it's just like, actually, you know what? Already your mental space has swung, and it's really cool to see, and it's really, really, really cool to hear. Lizards are always tough. Like they're up there with Skaven as just being a very opportunistic team. That's why I hate them.
I had some good advice going into them though, which was just try and isolate the Saurus. So when you're playing against them, pick them off, because the lizards need their positioning. Like with their Saurus, they need to always be in the right place. And if you can if you can just like keep one busy and then keep one busy and then they break away, then it's quite.
And when they get out of position, they are.
They can't
take them a long time to get back in position.
Yeah. They can't get away from you, and you can 2+ to get away from them. And they're a screen is the worst thing you can do to a Saurus.
Yeah,
because they can't do anything about it.
Yeah,
because it's just their blitz. That's it. So the team went win-win, draw, loss, and you won another round.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, so overall, again, that was where I was feeling. It's like, oh damn, like I could have gotten wins. So I felt really awful about that. Then my team was just like, no, mate, we won. So
yeah,
a draw was all you needed to get. It's all good. So yeah, so round 8.
Penultimate, back on winners row again.
Yep. This was so back on the top row against a team from Italy, the Predatori della Mutina Evoluta, and that was my best attempt. I was up against Fera, who was playing Chaos Dwarfs, and when I saw this with my team of like 4 dodge players, I was just like, oh, okay, gonna be rough. Didn't have as rough as the game as the guy next to me though. Our Tombkin player Tim, against halflings, who played the entire game with no rerolls.
Against Tomb Kings.
Tomb Kings with no rerolls against Griff halflings.
4+, you lose the game. Jeez.
I think it was the Griff Carla halfling roster. Yeah.
That is Techers, mate. That's excellent.
Yeah. He did lose that game, and he was just like, mate, I like, what can you do? He had 3 rerolls in his roster. He lost them all every time. Halflings had like 1 million.
That's brutal.
Yeah. I was there. I think I saw him like burning them on loners, on like the star players. Just like, well, I got them. I'm just putting it's your rerolls. I'm burning.
Oh, that is harsh. But I love that. So, Chaos Dwarves, Ben, did you get smacked about?
I did better than I thought I would, and this was another game where I was thinking just like, oh, I really could have done better there. I caged them up really hard, so I really screened the hell out of them and Chaos, because I know Chaos Dwarves can't move the ball unless they're willing to
Having
take 4 up ball
Played
centers.
them a fair bit.
Yeah, I know what is tough to fight. I'm playing against elves with Chaos Dwarves recently. It's like, okay, when they do elf screens, it sucks. And you're just there being miserable. And I was like, right, it's table 10. I'm going to make my opponent miserable. So I did like that screen. I did the thing where you bring it round, you force them into like a ball, and then they just don't know what to do. And our first half flew by because he would just be like, blitz, pass. And I'd be like, cool, back we go. He'd be like, okay, move forward, blitz, pass. He was just waiting for it. And he then had to do a desperation play where the ball got round and I was able to knock it. Oh, no. I went for the blitz and I misread his guard. He had little skill rings which had like the text like written on tiny and little engraved wood. And his mighty blow ones looked kind of similar to the guard ones. And I was there blitzing around. I did all my dodges, went for the punch, picked up 2 dice. He was like 1. I was like, was it 1? It's like guard. I was like, rolled a skull. And I was just like, that sucks. That sucks. So I'd waited all that time for that opportune moment where it was just like, okay, here it is. I've got like 3 dodges to do and a blitz and a 2 die. It's fine. And yeah, it was rough. But and on the second half, I think that had like made me tilt or something, and I played a little bit worse. So I scored really quick. I equalized it. And then he went for another defense because I was just like, okay, I can't do that twice. But then I don't know. He was able to move around, and for some reason I didn't cage up against the sideline. I think I was scared of getting surfed because I'd already lost a couple of players. And I had a chance at 1 turn as well, which I failed at rerolls, but I did kill a ball centaur, so I took that. But yeah, I left 1 square free, and he sent a ball centaur around, and then it all kind of fell apart because he was able to hit me from the back and hit me from the front, and then move players around. And yeah, so there I should have been a little bit more sensible. So I think I tilted a bit, but it was tough, man. Chaos Swords, you can't. It's so hard to break them. So hard to break.
At this point, did your opponent buy you beer for losing?
Yes. And he did say, which actually a few people have said, which I actually really appreciate, is a lot of players would be like, do you want to talk about the game? You know, like, do you want to talk about the game? Like, do you want any advice? Like, do you want to think what I was thinking? And I always appreciate that and I always say yes. And so he was there just being like, he said, play more aggressive. Disagree. I think it might have made the game more fun for him, but on my defensive drive, playing more aggressively there would have thrown the game, I think, harder. I think forcing them to be really slow is probably better. He almost ran out of turns to even score. Like, he had to get a couple of rushes in. So, yeah.
Interesting.
But it was an interesting one. But yeah.
The team went lose, draw, win. So you got a round loss. So taking you into round 9, back into the 20s, which out of 180 tables is still excellent.
Pretty good. Very good. We were like, okay, this is a pretty good result. And Breakman Crosshaven player at this point was on 7 wins and 1 loss. So he was feeling pretty good.
Skaven, you know, of course he is.
Yeah, exactly.
Skaven don't lose games.
Yeah, that's true. Apart from that one.
Right. So last game, the power of Jargia.
That name sums up this team. They were wild. Like, they've got like in their name, real Malteser, metal Malta. They're from Malta. And they made us absolutely say as a team, yeah, we're going to go. I think they do their tournament in Italy. And there's a food bowl tournament where it starts with a 26-course tasting menu. And we were like, oh yeah, we're in. We're going for that. And and they were so much fun. I think the coach I was playing, his dad was with him. And his brother or his dad or the son lives in Lymington. And we were like, what the hell are the chances of that? So he was like, where are you guys from? And they were like, England, like mostly northeast and south. And he was like, oh, where are you from the south? I said, you know, around Southampton. He's like, oh, my son lives in Lymington. And
I like that.
Yeah. But this, like, when we sat down, they said, "Okay, we're on table 23. That's a good result. Should we just call it a draw and go get some drinks?" We can't win, so we were like, "Let's play it out." But yeah, let's. I'll be happy with a draw. Yeah, it was
Careful what
so
you
much
wish
fun.
for.
Like, well, yeah, exactly. This guy had a printout of the Virgin Mary, which he'd roll dice on, and he had dice with Jesus Christ printed on the 6. And on crucial rolls, he'd get Mary out and roll his Jesus dice, and he'd be like, he was glad to see a Madonna, and then like roll. And I just fucking, sorry, language, I just lost it. I lost it so much. Like, and at this point, I was already like a lot of drinks down. There was some guys, the Faco boys from Germany, asked me if I wanted to become a Faco boy, which you can't say no to that question, which is just some spirits mixed with Fanta, like 50-50. Incredible drink. Necked 2 of those before this game. And so we were just going like really riding a high on this one. I laughed harder than I've laughed in any game of Blood Bowl ever, and had such a good time. And it was against Wood Elves. We drew. Again, probably could have been a win. He got quite unlucky at a couple of points, and my elves just did elf stuff better than his. I think I out blitzed his war dancers all the time, which was really good. But yeah, I honestly, if I'm being honest, I don't remember a lot of the details of this game as a game. I remember the details of this game as an experience, and it was wonderful. So.
Oh, dude, it sounds absolutely fantastic. And it sounds like a brilliant end as well. Rounds and ranking.
Yeah.
Squad score after round 9. Let's see if we can bring this up. So, click. And where did you guys end up?
So our team placed, that's a good question. Was it 52nd or something?
52nd. There you go.
Yeah.
Tactics and theatrics. 52nd out of 372 teams.
Yeah.
Well, you've got to be happy with that.
We are very happy with that. We came away with that being like, that's really good, because we can also improve on that. Like, it's a goal which you can strive to beat as well. So it's like, okay, next time we can get higher. And we feel like we could, which is really good. We're very happy with that as a result, and happy with that as a result that we can beat. Because if you came like, I don't know, 8th or something, you'd be just like, oh, that's amazing. It's going to be tough to beat that.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know how that works. Oh, yes, team score. You got the score.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's just amazing, man. The whole thing just sounds...
It was so good. It was so much better than I even thought it could be, and I was expecting it to be good. But I mean, after you hear the horror stories of the last World Cup, you know, there was that ongoing doubt. But huge props to the events organizer and Akko, who you know organized most of the thing. Phenomenal job.
It does sound like the vibe was at Audit, even from the outside, even when we spoke to them, even when we got them on for an interview, didn't we? It was very much a case of like, we're just going to have people come over and play Blood Bowl.
That's what it was, and it was phenomenal. The atmosphere at the end when they were doing all the announcements of the awards, and everyone like crowded at the end, and everyone was cheering for everyone. Like everyone got, so there was a best coach prize for every race. So the player who did the best for every race, and our Skaven player won Skaven, which was awesome.
Yes.
So we walked away with a prize as a team. I think he might now be #1 ranked Skaven player in the world as well. I think that's what he's hoping to achieve at the end of it.
That would be
which is mental,
incredibly impressive.
Yeah, I think he is there. Yeah, so he's like, okay, done with Skaven now. On to the next one.
So, I mean, I don't want to touch too much on the competitive side, because this is really just about your experience of the World Cup. But I guess on a kind of blanket note, has it inspired you or ticked the box for this
inspired.
Kind of thing?
Hugely inspired. Like, we run a lot of tournaments. We don't get to play in a lot, often because we're usually running them and like getting the free weekends is that. But I've completely switched on now, it's going to be like, no, I'm going to dedicate more of my free time to going to these events. I want to get practiced and experience with the next time, because it was so worth it. And to see how much like this game means across the world is amazing. Like you see just like a small little community that we have down the south, and people who travel for the tournaments as well, we really respect. But like it's hard to look outside that. And then when you go to like another country and you play with people from literally everywhere, and you've got like people from like the USA playing next to you, and like it's just like it just makes you realize that this game means a lot to a lot of people, and it's really good that we have that game, because I can't think of any other tabletop game that could generate the community feel that this one does. Yeah, man, I feel so inspired about it. I can't wait for the next one. Really can't wait.
That's so cool. So I'll have a 3-year-old by that point. Trips,
That's fine.
your little one will be plenty old enough.
Oh yeah.
Ask Haven Player brought his 1-year-old with him.
Yeah. might try and coach her up for then.
Yes.
There was an under-18s team, I think, actually representing there.
That's super cool as well. I'm inspired hearing about it, and you bang on. Like this is the interesting thing about Blood Bowl, is that it's important to so many people in so many different ways. And one thing that we're really lucky at is there's so many different like angles to play. Like you've got the league, you've got the small tournaments, you've got the silly tournaments, you've got like the competitive angle, you've got the fun day angle, you've got all the stuff you can do, like drafts, like what we're doing. And seeing the peak competitive side, this is not what I think a lot of people would have expected from a Blood Bowl World Cup.
No.
But they went into it, they owned it, and I think it sounds like the vibe was pulled off of this is a Blood Bowl festival more than an esports event.
Yes and no. I think there was a good balance. I mean, it certainly, at least that when we were getting to like top tables, it did feel like a sports event. Like we were there and we were like talking to like other teams up there, and it was all just getting like, this is actually quite serious now. And like the games we're playing were like, when you're in there, you are like
in the tank.
Every move matters, and it felt intense. But I love that, because when your opponent is friendly and everyone there it feels good, and you like root for each other. And like obviously, you know, inside you're like, when they roll their one, you're just like but like you do kind of think it's like, oh man, that's like, yeah. But it feels, yes, it's a friendly festival event, but I think I was really won over by how competitive it was, and I never thought I'd be saying those words, because I'm not really a competitive kind of player. Now I think I might be.
I'm personally very excited to hear that, because this is that's an angle that's I've always found has been underrepresented in Blood Bowl in a way. I don't know, just think it's really interesting. Really, really, really interesting. Any more thoughts or anything, guys?
I want to know, because I know how Ben loves talking about himself when he's out and about and detailed. Did you get tracked down by anyone to see the other Ben, the backup Ben?
I did have a few people stop and take a picture as well. Shout out to Stuart Shelley, who bumped into me and was just like, Ben, hey, let's have a picture. I really enjoyed that, so thank you. And we had some usual familiar faces as well. What was quite funny was talking to people, and they didn't recognize until midway through the conversation. It was like, hold on. And it was just like, you're having a regular chat, and they're just like, wait. And sometimes one of my opponents, I played the whole game. It was the third opponent I played, the Danish coach, who he knew the podcast. He was like a huge fan of the podcast, but he didn't know because he listens to it. He was like, I thought you sounded familiar, but because he doesn't listen to it on audios. He doesn't recognize my face.
Was this the guy that said, I think I might come to Beachhead?
Yeah, no, it was. So yeah, and that's why I said I'll go to Denmark.
Well, I mean,
that was it. You're right, Ian. You are right. Because he said no. It was then when he said I might come to Beachhead. do you know Beachhead? And I was like, yeah, we run that one. It's like, wait, no, you're the... Yeah, so good.
I tell you what, man, we'll have to organise sponsoring you to go around the world to do Blood Bowl tournaments. I think that'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool. No, that's wicked. I was just my only last question was going to be: did you bump into any of the other like the American podcasters or anything?
No, not many podcasters actually. I tried to look around, but yeah, like I was there to be with like my team primarily as well.
Yeah.
So I didn't really want to like go out and be like, hey, do you know who I am? Like I'm not very comfortable with that kind of thing. So it's like, yeah, if people approached me, that was great. But yeah,
That's just so
I did
cool.
meet Andy Daver as well, who's also incredible. So yeah, we had a little chat as well, which is good.
That's wicked. Amazing.
Yeah.
Right, guys. Well, look, Ben, thank you so much for talking us through the World Cup. I do want to, on another episode, touch on competitive Blood Bowl and tournaments and things like that, because I feel like this could be the start of something really, really, really cool and really exciting. But I feel like next episode might very much be about vampires. And if you're still listening to the end of the show, come and join us on the live stream next Thursday. Me, Trips, and Warhammer will be getting to grips with the new vampire roster on a live stream, which are always a lot of fun. So it'd be cool to come and see us. And if BT gets some more painting live streams on there, do go and hang out with them as well. But for now, I think we'll wrap up. So, guys, thank you very much. It's always lovely to hang out and chat Blood Bowl with you. Right. Thanks so much for watching. We'll be back soon with more Blood Bowl content. Happy blocking. Thanks so much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to support the channel even further, please like and subscribe. It really does help us out. Or come join us on YouTube members or in Patreon, where you can get exclusive access to some content, some loot, early access to basically everything we do, as well as regular competitions. Or you can pick up some Bonehead Podcast loot either on our website at boneheadpodcast.com. We've got the Dungeon Bowl things, we've got tokens and stuff like that, or on our Spreadshirt site as well. Everything you do just helps us make more content and hopefully do it of better quality. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Happy blocking.